All right, you're welcome back to Morning Delight, and this is the very last segment. If you're just joining us, it is Talk Time, and this is a segment, of course, where we bring issues to the front burner to discuss. And today, the spotlight is on Lagos State University, the making of a world-class university. When sometime last year, for the first time in its 36 years of existence, Lagos State University had 57 first-class graduates. Broke the news, huge headlines all over the place. It was the beginning of good things to come in Lagos State University. Sometime last month, I think 3 of its students won an award in intellectual property abroad. And just recently, they have been named among the first 600 universities in the world. The VC says first 200 band is what they're pursuing. How far can they go in this as they continue in truth and in service? Oba will say the Latin part of that, of what I just said. Latin is closer to his language.
You set the trap behind camera, and you are living up to your promise. Anyway, I'm not going to attempt that because my seats are very, very, very special to me. I know where Rumila is going.
They're waiting.
So this morning, joining us on the program is an associate professor of economics, who, of course, is the chairman of the academic staff of University Lasu chapter. Join us to welcome Dr. Ibrahim Bakari. Good morning.
Thank you very
Good
much.
morning,
Thank
sir.
you for coming on the program. Lasu, in the past, when you mentioned Lasu, a lot of pictures, will just quickly play through your mind. You talk about a university that is when you cannot get to University of Lagos, the next point of call should be Lasu. When you cannot do this, so it's Lasu. The impression then was, like the Yoruba would say in local parlance, University of Ogbuero. But it appears from what Rumeli has said now that things have changed. What is the magic?
Thank you very much. I'm so happy you've just reminded us of our ugly days. Truly, there's no way any institution will definitely get to a state of El Dorado of this nature without actually reflecting, over its past. We had a very humble beginning in 1983, and we started our academic programs in 1984. Truly, Lasu was unpopular, as so many interpreters would call the institution, a glorified, secondary school. But for those of us that were determined to really take Lasu as our first choice of institution, we went through a lot in terms of trying to convince the public about what we could do better than other institutions. Of course, we excel first in the field of law when our students began to dazzle the entire world, and beyond that, we also did, very well in the field of economics, later in the field of, medicine, among others. But the reality on ground is that at a point in time, we got things wrong due to societal, impact on the system. During this point in time, the public never wanted to associate with Lasu. That was the truth. The question of cultism then was very common. Of course, it affected other institutions as well. Then things were not properly defined at that point in time. We suffered, a lot for courses that ordinarily should have lasted for 4 years. For those of us in the social sciences, for those from the Faculty of Arts, and for those in, engineering, they also suffered greatly. For courses that should have lasted for 5 years, they spent more years to complete, their programs. That was the first time Lasu developed the graduating equation formula. For 4-year, programs, the graduating equation formula was y equals 4 plus x. The y in question represents when you ordinarily would have completed, the program, given the shocks here and there. And the x in question represents the strike, the crises, the challenges, internal, external, pressures here and there. For years, about 31 years or thereabout, we did not get things right. Not because we never had good leadership in fewer instances, but because the pressure became too much.
What kind of pressures are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm really talking about societal impact.
Okay.
Cultism, you talk about internal wranglings, student union crises, union crises. I mean, the key actors that ordinarily should have worked together to project very enviable and enduring governance system of the institution, they never really agreed. And when there was no agreement, of course, there's no way you would have really, gotten the right, direction of leadership.
So when did we get to that turning point where things started to change for Lagos State University? Bear in mind that everyone has this in their mind, that it is a school that is backed by the Lagos State government. So let's know, at what point did we get to that turning point where it got to and said, okay, we need to go back to the vision of this university, to the point where we're now seeing the results we're seeing today?
Thank you very much. Before I go into that, let me quickly say something. For about 31 years, we didn't get things right. And when you look at the number of years involved, in the engagement of the First World War and the Second World War, if you put, both together, it took about 10 years and 4 months. First World War, 1914 to 1918, 4 years and 4 months. Then the Second World War, 1936 to 1945. So 1939, to 1945, 6 years. So 10 years, 4 months. So the problems we actually faced in Lasu lasted for about 31 years. But in 2016, the prayers of the founding fathers of Lasu and the alumni of that institution became answered when God, in his infinite mercy, brought on board a renowned professor of law and the person of Professor Abdul Hakim Olanrewaju Adigun Fagbon. When he came on board, it was somehow miraculous, really. So many of those that are celebrating him today never knew he had so much to really offer. But I tell you, the narratives are really changed today. Are you talking about the quality of governance, all-inclusive governance approach? Are you talking about the way the students' union body are being factored into decision-making processes? Are you talking about the way the management has now redefined the engagement process with, the members of staff, academic and non-academic staff? Are you talking about the enviable and robust committee-based system, in place? Are you talking about laurels that our students are now bringing, into the system?
Dr. Bakari,
and so on and so forth.
You have painted a picture of El Dorado since the coming of Professor Fagbon. Does it mean that everything is in perfect order at Lasu right now, so to speak?
No.
Okay.
I'm not really saying everything is in perfect order. Even when you assess the best institution in the world, you couldn't have really, ascribe or attribute, perfectionism, to such. But what we are saying in Lasu is that things we did not get right then, we have gotten them right.
Okay.
Because we've gotten things right, it has taken us, to an advanced level of rating globally and locally. And we believe if we get the required, funding, from the state government, I tell you, I will not be surprised in the next 10 years if Lasu is ranked among the best 50 universities in the world.
Let's look at some of the prerequisites to be ranked among the best universities in the world. You cannot get that without having a breakthrough in scientific revolution.
Yes,
Oba here has been clamoring for a cure in COVID-19, a traditional cure in COVID-19. We've also been asking for engineering solutions, technological solutions to our homegrown problems in Nigeria. Where does Lasu place itself? I know you guys are very good in law, but that has been for over the years. Everybody knows, every law graduates from Lasu is it. But now we're looking at STEM, we're looking at science, technology, engineering. Yeah. Okay, so what is the plan in that arena for Lasu? Fantastic.
That's quite interesting. Well, Lasu has really done well in the field of STEM. I want to, place this on record that Lasu is now a recognized World Bank Center of Excellence for STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you go to Lasu today, you definitely see that center is being powered and being led by our distinguished Professor Okebukola.
Okay.
So Lasu has really got a lot, and it is trying to really, provide leadership in the field of, engineering, technology, mathematics, to African region. So we are playing a leadership role, in that regard. And not only in the field of law, we've also excelled in some other areas. For example, one of our, professors, along with, his team, just won about $95,000 research grant from Food and Agricultural Organization, to conduct a research on catfish, production, looking at the value chain. Professor Akintola, Dr. Fakoya, and others. So the story is very, very successful.
Let's talk about relationship between the school authorities, for an instance, and other components of the university system. In Nigeria, for an instance, we know that unionism is so active. You are the chairman of the ASU in Lasu, and most of the time you hear stories of ASU not being on the same page with the school management, having issues here and there. The case of University of Lagos comes to mind easily. Of course, the union is not involved directly here, but we know it's between some components of the university system. What has been the relationship like in Lasu?
Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't want to dive into University of Lagos, easy for obvious reasons.
Please don't.
Yeah. She's from university. She's an alumnus of that great institution. But I have also always done something, and which I truly and strongly believe in. That is the Lasu project.
Okay.
If you look at me from my head to my toe, what flows is the Lasu project. I'm very committed, very passionate about that institution. And we've always recommended our strategies to other universities, if they care, to really follow our path. Unionism today is about civility. It's about respectability. It is about maturity. It is about working assiduously and harmoniously in order to provide solutions to existing problems within the institution. It's not about partisanship, really, because what we've been able to do in Lasu is to call ourselves to order and to ask ourselves that, do we really want to return to the past or to draw and consolidate on the gains of today? And how do we do that? The first strategy is peace. It has worked very significantly for us. Respect others because you want to be respected. Dialogue constructively, meaningfully, productively, so that the solutions could be identified. Not only that, whenever there are issues that could really propel the institution to phenomenal growth, then you work together to ensure that you take the institution there. So what we have in Lasu is about collectivism. It's about Ubuntu philosophy. We hold our hands together, we wine together, we dine together, we ensure that that institution do not suffer for a second. We have, decided and resolved to make Lasu the best among others.
So in your quest of being one of the best universities in the world, what would you want to tell parents and students who are watching right now, parents who are older than us, who knew the image and the perception they had of Lasu back in the day, and those children who don't know, but at least now see the Lasu as it is now and would want to go? Because a prophet who isn't recognized in his own home cannot be recognized outside. Exactly. So how are you going to at least try to continue to repair that perception and the image that you have in Nigeria, so that they are the Harvard, Lasu becomes the Harvard, Lasu becomes the Cambridge, that will be mostly sought after by parents and students alike?
Yeah, thank you very much. At the moment, so many things have changed. The perception of the public is now positive and favorable towards Lasu. As I'm talking to you now, there have been calls. We've been inundated with calls here and there. We want to come to Lasu. As a matter of fact, so many parents who never visited Lasu in the last, couple of years, upon their arrival, they ask one question: this is not the Lasu we really read about. If this is what Lasu is about, then we are ready to spend our last card in patronizing, Lasu. And beyond that, we keep, really moving, because we believe strongly in the efficacy of, networking, trying to showcase what we could do better, which other universities may not be able to do. We've got the academic competencies, the academic strengths in so many areas, and that is exactly what we've been doing. So I just want to advise parents to keep patronizing Lasu and to be guaranteed that what they've really seen about Lasu is just a tip of the iceberg.
Lasu may have to
the future is rosier for the
business with us in that area. You have to go and see my director of marketing in that regard. Let's look at education. We've been told that education is not just about grades. It's not just about records, an A, a B, or C, or so. That education is when the person is roundly molded, both in grades and in character. And we know that in Nigeria, cultism is a big problem when you are talking about university system, and it has eaten so deep into the fabric of the university system that to someone outside our community, an average university undergraduate is a cultist or a potential cultist. How has Lasu been able to manage this monster called cultism?
Thank you very much. It wasn't really easy to get to this level. I can authoritatively say that the Lagos State University is free of cultism.
100%?
100%.
Okay.
As I'm talking
I'll
to
take
you
that
now.
from you.
Yeah,
I'll write it down.
100%. Because if you come to Lasu, your security is guaranteed, right? You are safe, you feel safe. I am not surprised as to why you see even those in Alaba trying to park their cars very close to Lasu, because they know, they are secured. And for those of us that have been working in Lasu, we could really testify to the difference between the past and, today. We have well-equipped security personnel. Even if you are a staff over there, you will still be subjected to scrutiny. That is quite interesting. Our students understand the fact that you don't joke with indecency in Lasu, discipline, range. And we have our code of ethics regarding dressing, regarding, students' relations, and so on and so forth. So cultism has no place in Lasu. And that's one of the reasons why you see our students now excelling more today than, in the past. They have their focus, they are well trained, well tutored, properly guided, to excel in life. I want to say this. The Lagos State government, started a program. Of course, Lasu was the first to really commence this, the Ready, Set, Work. Which, of course, provided entrepreneurial skills, time management skills, among others, to our students to make them, well prepared, as global leaders. So the story is about perfection.
We have to go, but very quickly in 20 seconds, how prepared is Lasu? We're talking about COVID-19. We've been talking about that since the beginning of this program, and we know that anytime soon the schools may be reopened. How prepared is Lasu, as regards that, managing COVID-19 when the school reopens?
We are 100% prepared. Right from the centers, departments, faculties, and across the 3 campuses, we are running. The University Senate has really taken a very strong position to ensure that proper compliance, is guaranteed. And not only that, about one of our public health lecturer, Dr. Busayo, was recently honored by the governor, along with 9 others, in their drive and concerted effort to fight against COVID. So it shows that we are done a lot.
Dr. Bakari, we have to go.
Thank you so much. And this is just from Lagosians and Nigerians. We're also relying on you to provide food for Nigerians. We know that you have arable land around you. You were there a long time before those other people got there. So we're relying on you. Hope you take that into account.
That's right.
All right. Thank you so much, Ibrahim Bakari. He's just an associate professor at the University of Lasu, Lagos State University. Lagos State University. He's also the chairman of the of ASU in Lagos State Lasu chapter. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Right, having talked to Mr. Bakari here, it just seemed like Nigerians' problems, one after the other, they'll become solved. If only we all come together to get them all solved. Tomorrow is another day of Morning Delight. Be sure you keep safe. Have a great day. I am Romelia Esangbedu. Bye for now.
Yes, it's important to sound this, that, we've been told over and over that if you want to destroy people, destroy the education sector. And we're trying to look at that and ensure that the education sector is not destroyed. My name is Zoba Adi. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.